Alright, I just wanted to create a quick video about one of my favorite books called Turning Pro by Steven Pressfield. And the premise of it obviously is we have amateur behaviors. Sometimes we will over leverage, we will trade at the wrong times, we won't wait for the right setup. There's a number of things that you'd say what an amateur or maybe a new trader would do. And as you evolve, you learn to trade only the best setups. So if we look at ES, a couple of things that really what I call the best, right? And here at Quad Threat, we trade off the daily, right? So this is printed for you automatically, so that's what's pretty cool. It's automatic. So as you can see, when the market, and we can, well, the yellow is the daily, and the orange is the 4-hour again. So as you spit this out, and we could even move this to a 5-minute chart just to make it a little bit easier. As we go along, and so look at what happened. You can see these wicks, pretty crazy, but not too bad as when you're looking at levels. So we can see this is an hour before the open, so you're just kind of waiting. This was news right here. I think there's a jobless claim event thing here, and you can see the market didn't do much; just kind of went down, bounced off the 4-hour. So it's just ranging between the 4-hour, and then ultimately you get a nice. It comes down to the daily, and look at this; it bounces twice. So if this price action is too quick for someone, then what you can do is you just wait for the candle flip. So it's not perfect. So in this case, I mean, especially when the market just opens, if you went long here, came up, could have scalped. As you can see, you would have been stopped out for a break-even trade or potentially a loss. If you're noticing that the candles cannot, at least let's say the candles, the price cannot get below these two stacked areas, right? This is the daily and the 4-hour. I love it when it can't, when it's failing to go in a direction like that. So it bounces, and then you just kind of go along, right? There's nothing fancy. It's failing to break the low. You can wait for some confirmation as far as buying. You can use a lot of things, and you can see the market just tore off almost over an hour. And then I remember watching it because I was like, oh, I could flip. But then what we do here with GAN trading is, there's no, the daily is way up here. So then what we can do is turn to the 4-hour, and you'll see that you get some dojis kind of flip right at and this is where we can maybe switch to the 1 minute just to see how I entered a short here. And when I'm talking about the best trades are bounces off dailies where it bounces above the 4-hour and then retests again, right? It goes above the 4-hour, retests, goes above the VWAP. Like, I love this trade here. This is our VWAP on the compass indicator. Price goes above the VWAP, and you can catch a nice potential long trade. So again, waiting for what's the best trade. And again, a lot of people will be they might miss it, so they'll be to short this thing. Oh, I can't keep going, right? So they short here, they short here, they short here. Maybe they got lucky enough and caught the high. Well, all we did was we waited for it to break the 4-hour and retested, and then I went short and caught all the way down. I think I got bounced I got bounced when it broke above this broke above this 4-hour. So you can even see during the past little bit, you could have gone long off the double bounce off the 4-hour, and then as you can see, it hit the VWAP, another great entry. So again, you're waiting for the best trades. The best trades are when price fails to get above the VWAP and it's going right through a Gann level, so it gives you high probability levels. So back to the book, and really, as we all know, if you want to be a professional trader, strategies and charts and all that are good, but really it comes down to the mindset. And that's our number one indicator, right? That's like 90%, right? If we're not right in the way we view things, then we might start seeing patterns and things that don't exist, or we get confirmation bias, and we're looking to be, we want to be right. Like our ego gets involved, and what happens when things don't go our way? Well, it can trigger a response, an impulse response to fight and try to get back when it's not going our way. So really it's about learning to ditch the amateur mindset and embrace the discipline of a pro. And we can break this down into some principles to help you trade like a professional, right? So principle one, you really want to commit to the craft, and that's why I really focus on NQ and ES. I do like gold a lot because it does, well, almost any instrument respects the levels that are Gann level prints, but you commit to the craft, right? So basically, Pressfield says when you turn pro, it's a decision. It's a moment where you say, you know what, this is my life's work. And for traders like us, this means trading like a professional and not a hobby, right? We're not messing around. We don't dabble. We study. We journal. We track. We learn from our losses. We learn from our wins. It's always about, every day is a learning day. And learning how to be humble with it, learning not to trigger those responses that can cause us to lose our account or lose our evals, right? So really, as pros, we don't chase hot tips, right? We build a process of success. And so principle number two is, it comes down to being resistance, right? So we want to, Pressfield calls resistance that inner voice that tells you to procrastinate, to doubt ourselves. Maybe we say, we can't trade. Trading is impossible, right? We have to have a deep resolve, so that way we stay on track with our overall goals. And so, resistance in his kind of vein is skipping our analysis, revenge trading. We base our decisions off fear or losing or streak. Right? You can go on a losing streak, right? We start basing our trades off fear. And where pros view it different, they actually embrace the suck. They embrace the challenge for what it is. We don't give trading more power than it deserves. We know it's hard, but it also is possible. But we have to have the right mindset. And pros stick to their plan. Whereas amateurs will bounce from indicator to indicator, from strategy to strategy. We all know that. Most strategies will work if you're consistent with it. And so pros are very they're detail oriented on their plan, the process. They're focused on the process of taking the best trades, not chasing the P&L. And basically, a pro trader, let's say you're not in the mood, you're whatever, or you think the market's going down, but if it's bouncing off a daily Gann and the chart is screaming to you, okay, this is a long, you can't have your personal bias, or right, you might have had a couple of trades that went against you, whatever. When you have your system, you have to follow it. And also, if your system says, hey, you took 2 or 3 losses, you shut it down, even though there'll be a setup that comes along that looks really good. But part of your plan is, hey, you know what, 2 or 3 trades you lose, you're done. But on the same note, all things considered, if again, your high probability trade is there. You have to use that edge and take it, right? That's just part of it. Principle three is a big part, which could really be a big area, but it's all about discipline, right? So pros will show up every day, no excuses. I don't know if traders often have that problem because a lot of it can lead to addiction. A lot of people will trade, through the night session, through the, Asia, through London, New York, and then, then they're just constantly trading. And I think it's swinging too far the other way, showing up every day, basically showing up at the best time of the trading plan or the day. Like, let's say you select the New York Open as your main slot to scalp. And maybe part of your plan is you don't take open trades because you just don't like how it jolts around. So again, you have it all written up and you follow that to a T. For me, I really care about price, minus like avoiding those big news events like non-farm payroll, FOMC, obviously the obvious ones where you have no control what's going to happen. But for me, I just really care about more where is what's price doing at a daily GAN, because that's my true edge when I trade. So where amateurs will wing it, right? The market's going up, they just click buy. The market's going off, they just sell. They don't really have a concrete reason for what they're doing. And if you wing it, then it's not a process and you can't track it really. I guess if you're really good in your journal and say, well, yeah, I've been taking a lot of just random trades. Well, yeah, you're tracking it, but you can't really improve on just trying to pick tops and bottoms. Like, what's the process of that over day in, day out? Can you really do that as a trader? I don't think it's quite possible. Maybe some people have mastered it. I personally believe it's better to find those A+ setups and only take those, and you kind of live and die by that per se. That's just how I think. If a pro trader, just doing this long enough, you really don't need to trade that much. So a lot of it is just waiting around for the best setups, right? And so that's where, again, amateurs will wing it, whereas pros live by structure, by those rules that they come up with as they learn to trade every day. And then number four is we have to accept the long game. So Pressfield emphasizes that pros play for mastery, not for quick wins, not for that high of being right. Trading isn't about getting rich quick. It's a long game. It takes years of learning. It takes learning how to manage the pain element of it and surviving losses. Pros measure success in consistent execution, not in one trade, right? One trade means nothing, but it's the evolvement of trading day in, day out over weeks and months and then years, hopefully, if you can stay in it long enough. And then basically with that patience, you can turn from an amateur to a pro. And then everything from that point goes amazing, right? You're going to make a good living. You're going to be calm about what you're doing. You're following a process. It just changes the game when you really think of it as a pro versus an amateur. So for me, turning pro as a trader means, again, committing to the craft, beating those resistance things we talked about, and then living with discipline and embracing the long game. And a lot of this stuff you may have heard, and so I might just be speaking to myself, and I get that. A lot of these videos I'm doing because I'm trying to evolve as a pro trader and trying to push away some of my amateur behaviors and habits that sneak up on me like a little shadow that's just always there. Those things that are ingrained that are sometimes tough to kick. So anyway, that's just a quick little video on, again, Steven Pressfield's Turning Pro and how I've applied it to trading. So for going from an amateur trader to a pro trader, definitely won't be an overnight thing, but as you work on the process and you structure yourself, you can have success in this wonderful, awesome game of the trading world. So thanks for listening and take care.